Yo.
Hey, welcome to the New Meta episode 100.
100.
Big 100. Wow, man. That's crazy, dude.
I know.
100 episodes in. It's been a blast, man. So I guess we should break the news now. This is the last episode of the New Meta, guys. It's 100's as long as
PTR's quitting the streaming thing.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Dead streamer anyways, if you ask me, but
so, No, totally joking, man. We're gonna do more. Speaking of more, have you guys checked out the Patreon? You should check out the Patreon.
Yeah.
It's a cool place. You can support the New Meta and
celebrate the 100 with us by becoming a part of the community.
Parts of the New Meta crew, I guess we'll call it. I don't know.
We'll think of a cute name.
We got to think of something cool.
Yeah. Chat.
But one of the things you do get, the cool thing is every week, man, I record our pre-audio. So while you guys have been watching this little interlude, starting soon stream thing, or podcast coming, Fluff and I have been talking.
Yep.
And those audio recordings are on the Patreon. You can listen to them if you want to hear what we're talking about. It's all the dirt on your favorite stream. We're talking
X-rated.
Fluff talks shit on everybody. Like you can hear all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just kidding.
No, he's not. He's not kidding.
Sometimes, but not really. No, but welcome to the hunt, man. We got a little news today. We got stuff to talk about.
A little news?
We got a little thing happened last Friday.
Patch note hype, dude. It's gonna be nutty. And I can tell you guys right now, it's there will be blood. Because I don't think that me and P are gonna agree on all the things. So letting you guys know right now.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Let's jump into it. Last week, we asked, should Blizzard wait until Season 22 to buff Hydra Wizard? If you guys have been living under a rock, basically they kind of missed the mark with the Hydra set. No one's really using it, and it's not really that great. And it's a little dull. It's a little on the dull end. So, looking forward, with all the stuff that's coming in Season 21 that we now know, which we didn't know last week when we asked this question, by the way, but should they wait until the next season because it's like kind of free content, or should they like fix it now? So that, I don't know. To me, before I get your opinion, to me, it's like the thing that popped in my head is, so next season will probably be the first season of Hadrig's Gift. So that would seem like an appropriate time to like make sure that they're all like good. You know what I mean? Like all the new sets are like ironed out, fleshed out.
You think they're going to rotate the new sets in the Hadrig's Gift?
Yeah, they said they're going to once they're all.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did they say that? Okay.
Way back when.
I assumed they never would. I just figured that they were never going to hit the rotation. Just like they're probably never going to have, set dungeons and things like that.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I wonder if that's still on the scope,
They did say that forever ago.
Yeah. I wonder. Okay.
But yeah, so a lot of people think that that's going to be this season. I would think that that'd be unfair because like none of the other classes got new set, like the season the set came out. So I would think they would keep the normal rotation still. And the next season would be like the fresh one. So
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But what do you think? And what do you vote?
I'm going to think no because all the Wizard players voted and they want it fixed right now. They want it right now. I think they should. I think they should wait. We kind of know, right? But
I think there could be some implications maybe with like the SOJ could impact Wizard more than other classes. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
So maybe they have enough juice to bite on.
I think they got a lot of changes, but it does suck that the set's not good. And so I want to say yes really bad. I want to be like, yeah, fix it. But then next season, season 22 is going to be the first season where we don't have a new set introduced for the last, 3.
Right.
So it's at that point, if we're going to need some big balance, man. If we're not going to get a new set, like I would expect some nice quality of life or some pretty crazy balancing happening in the works. I would hope, So I don't know. What are you saying? You think yes?
I'll say yes. Because, I mean, I think there's enough to sink your teeth into this patch. And I hopefully that some of the changes to like SOJ will, like I said, impact Wizard in a positive way. So they'll have something to do. You know, because like worst thing is like, so this season for Necro for me was like, I mean, it was cool that the cube affected the Necro so positively, but there's just like nothing new that came out of it. So it's just like, I wasn't very motivated. So I'll say yes. Like, I mean, they can wait. Wizards had it so good for so long. Wow, pretty split.
Pretty split again.
45% of the vote says yes, and 55% of the vote says no.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's more even than I expected.
Yeah. And then the poll for next week, season 21's theme: love it or hate it.
Okay.
We're not gonna talk about it. I mean, we're probably going to talk about it
because we're going to talk about
it today.
But not right this second.
Right. But
so vote now. Pause and vote now.
Yeah. But you know, this week's a momentous week for Diablo 3. It is the 8-year anniversary of Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nutty. You know, someone tweeted, like, I think Dreadsight tweeted it out, and it feels like, wow, like already 8 years. That's crazy. But at the same time, it's like, man, Diablo 3 feels older than that.
I agree with you. But then 8 years is a long ass time too. Because like I think about like my youngest son's 8 years, and it's like he's so grown now. You know what I mean? Like
Diablo 3's all grown up.
I know. It's just like there's so many things that I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Like that's, you know, it's, I don't know, man. When you put it in perspective, 8 years kind of is a long ass time. So, I'm trying to think back to 8 years ago, like what life was like 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I would say the majority of people didn't have a smartphone.
2012?
Yeah. I mean, it was starting to catch on, but I would say it was, you know, it wasn't like now everybody has a smartphone. Everybody.
I don't know. Everyone had a smartphone in 2012.
You think iPhones, the majority of people did?
Yeah, iPhones went cracking. When did iPhone like?
Maybe I guess they came out in like 8.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like, you know, my parents didn't have them in 12. Probably, I'm pretty sure. You know, I don't know. It's just how much has changed, man. It's just a different.
It's definitely a different landscape.
Different game, especially with the coronas and stuff now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, 8 years is a long time. I'm ready for new stuff. If you think about a sequel coming up, 8 years is a long time for another sequel. That's an entire console generation. So like Diablo PS4 launched in 13, I think. Late 13, Christmas of 13, maybe even 14. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But it definitely came out on PS3 and skipped, you know, an entire console generation has gone by. PS5 will be out before Diablo 4 comes.
I mean, we're looking at probably 10 years, not just 8 years, because it's not coming out this year.
Yeah, so you're looking at 9 to 10 years before the next sequel.
But to be fair, Diablo 2, there's a 12-year gap. Diablo 2 to Diablo 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say that to be fair, because that's not a good excuse.
That's a long time.
That's a long fucking time.
Super long time, man. And it's like, I don't know. I guess StarCraft to StarCraft 2 was a huge ass gap too. I guess they just have this thing, man. They just, you know, it's Blizzard fast, right? Blizzard slow. What do they say?
I don't know. Blizzard speed.
I like Blizzard fast because it's not, you know. But happy birthday, Diablo. Regardless, that's you know, that's the thing.
You were a brat when you were young, but now you're okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was pretty big news. And then to kind of piggyback on what we talked about last week with, you know, the Diablo 2 Resurrected sort of coming out of nowhere yet again, right? Time and time again, this keeps popping up. Blizzard has joined the Summer of Gaming lineup that they're putting on next month. Or I think this month. Yeah, June.
What is Oh, they're in. It's who's sponsoring it? IGN is sponsoring it. Okay, and Blizzard joined it.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Summer of Gaming event? Like, what are they going to?
I mean, they got a whole bunch of developers, like literally like a whole list of big people. And so people think that because this will be the 20th anniversary of Diablo 2.
Wasn't that at BlizzCon 18?
What?
Weren't we excited because we thought it was the 20th anniversary at BlizzCon 18 when we thought they were going to announce D2 Remaster? What were we hyped about? There was some number lining up-ish thing happening.
I don't know.
I don't remember anymore because it didn't happen. It's kind of fucked to have a remaster of a game before the sequel comes out. I mean, well, I guess it's 2 and we have 3, but
right.
I don't know, man. It just bugs. Like I want 4 more than 2, and
of course,
like those are resources that I mean. I guess Vicarious Visions. If they're if the rumors are true and Vicarious is doing it, why couldn't they have been like, "Hey, Vicarious, like come help make shit for D4. Let's make D4 better."
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, can we have you guys like working on all these assets or these boss encounters or these design elements or something? You would think in whole studio you could just hand them like huge projects and be like, yo, can you guys knock this out? And they're like, yeah, man, got it.
Yeah, I don't know. And to me it's a bit of a risky play too, because like what if Diablo 2 Resurrected comes out and like it's another fail, right? Like it's Blizzard shooting like 50-50 right now with remasters. So
what if it's
hard roll
shit?
Dice.
What if it's like really good? And then D4 comes out and D2 remasters
it's better. I mean, yeah, maybe.
God, that would suck, man.
I could totally see like Mr. Llama still playing D2 remaster.
I mean, I'm just nervous as fuck. I'm so nervous for any Diablo thing because like Blizzard's track record hasn't been great lately. Their choices haven't been great. Their releases haven't been good. Their launches haven't been good. Their remasters haven't, like, there's so many things that have been bad. And I'm just nervous, man. I'm super skeptical, and like they need a win, like really bad. They need something to come out and just crush and just be like, this is a great launch. This is fun to play. They're making bukus. Like, all right, cool. Let's take some pressure off of these guys a little bit,
Yeah.
So, and you know what else is like? Have you heard anything on Overwatch 2? Like they hyped it like crazy at BlizzCon, and then it's like, I mean, I haven't been actively searching for it, but I haven't been like Overwatch 2 is coming this year, or like I thought it would be out in 2020. I mean, do you remember them talking about that, or was it just like,
I don't remember a release date. It's just like that demo that was like I didn't even play it. I watched you play it, and I was like, I was falling asleep watching you play it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like there's Immortal disappeared off the map. I haven't heard Overwatch. The only thing I'm hearing is like Shadowlands. That's all. It's like, wow. Shadowlands.
I will say, like, Shadowlands has been kind of great PR. I think I keep seeing them like do streams and interviews, like with
they're communicating. At least from what I understand.
So
people are happy about that.
Yeah, so. Good on ya.
Yeah.
And then this was kind of like an update that I found to be interesting. It's the first post that Blizzard has replied to since like forever ago. Like literally months of like no communication on the forums.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden this one guy posts, which this isn't early fluff hates, I guess. This guy like freaks out and he's like, their support for consoles pathetic. Get your act together, provide proper QA to console ports, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's just like that's never the way.
151 challenge rifts have worked flawlessly and one fucks up, right? And 1 out of 151. That's a pretty good track record. But they have had some before people are like, oh, this one. But no, 49 fucked up too. It was like, but for the most part, they've been pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, dude. Like,
it's just still, even if it is like a shit show on console, like this is just not the way you get like issues looked at by like freaking the F out. If I was a dev, I'd be like, well, I've got a list of things to do. Fuck that guy. He's going at the bottom.
Yeah. It's like this is the guy that walks back into McDonald's and is like, I ordered a cheeseburger with no onions and like throws it at the worker and shit, you know? So it's like,
chill
sorry,
out, dude.
It's okay,
right?
Man. It's okay. You'll get your challenge rift mats. Just relax.
But yeah, so it's the first time that I've seen a blue post in a while from a CM that I think I've seen before. Like everyone,
have you?
Yeah, I think so. Pez Radar. I'm pretty sure.
So check. If you check the schedule, I posted a link in there that where he says it was his first post as a CM. So
God, that sounds so fucking familiar. Why does it sound so familiar?
Maybe he's been around and he's just,
he's
just there. You see it at the 910. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So he says in there, he's like, "These are my first posts before my welcome posts."
Okay,
so,
nice. God,
so I don't know.
So damn familiar. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if he's been a CM or maybe he's worked for other games, but I'm with you, man. The name definitely sounds familiar to me too. So I'd have to investigate and look at some more posts and see if I've seen him around. But that's cool, I guess. I'm assuming he said before my welcome post, so I'm assuming that means he's going to be the new Diablo 3 forum at least.
Manager, we don't know that this is we don't know this is Adam either. It just says like this is my first, and we did hear from Adam that he was looking to hire, I guess, multiple CMs.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is the CM or if this is just a CM or what's going on. But that's cool, man. We got a new community manager, so
cool.
That's another person to, it's more eyes on issues and feedback and like all the stuff. So if you guys post positive feedback on the PTR, which you should be doing and playing and all that, then like there's more people to see it.
Right.
Gather data.
But so did you have some people say that PC was F2 for the challenge drift? Am I reading that wrong?
Yeah, PC. So my community was telling me that it wasn't working on PC. So Monday I was streaming Diablo and people came in and said, is the challenge rift screwed up for you too? And I was like, I don't know anything's wrong with it. I haven't tried. And people were saying, yeah, I can't access it. So, and these are PC players that I had played with on PC. So I would assume it was PC also, but I'm not confirming that because I didn't try myself. But I think it might have been jacked on PC. I don't know. So
weird.
People were saying that Adam does go by Pez Radar on Twitter. Okay. So that's why it's familiar. So,
maybe that's what. Maybe that's what.
Maybe maybe that is him. So. If not, then cool. And if so, then well.
Maybe I've seen it because he was like the esports guy first or something.
Yeah. Maybe it seemed like I said it was familiar to me too, and it could have just been the Twitter handle. I just recognized the Twitter handle.
Probably. But let's quit. Let's quit flirting around and dilly dallying, shall we?
Let's talk. Let's do it.
Come on. Let's get into it, guys. 5/21 this Thursday. We got a PTR. And it's looking pretty juicy. I mean, I'm excited because I'm a necromancer, but the necromancer stuff is actually nutty, and I'm freaking out. So I can't wait. But the one thing they start to talk about first is the new seasonal theme.
Yeah.
So the seasonal theme is basically every 2 minutes you channel an elemental power which unleashes into the environment for a limited time. 1, meteors rain from the sky. 2, breathe lightning. 3, a wall of flame engulfs everything. 4, release of twisters of pure energy. And 5, crush your foes under the weight of rolling snowballs.
Okay. Is this you release all of these, or is it randomly picking one, or is it going to cycle through them in order?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about this a little bit, but the wording on this PTR.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
It is vague.
What the heck happened?
Hell, in so many spots. I'm like, how hard is it to explain what this actually is?
Well, I mean, maybe, I don't know, because we don't know who the CM is now. So, maybe their familiarity with Diablo 3 isn't, spot on. And so, maybe when they described it, it makes sense to them. But us as Diablo 3 players were like, wait, what? So I don't want to be how hard is it, you idiot? But it's just, I'm not
very
confusing.
I'm not trying to come off insulting. I'm just how hard, if you read that, it doesn't.
An intern could do.
An intern, right? Listen to Fluff. God damn it, I'm gonna get that BlizzCon ticket this year. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm saying that that doesn't make, like, when I read that, I don't know. Like, what is it? Is it going to cycle through them? Is it doing all of them at the same time? Is it randomizing it? Like,
to me, this one doesn't bother me that much, because like there's always been that level of like vagueness to something, and like, okay, whether or not it's an order where they all come at the same time, like we'll just find that out on PTR, and like that's kind of like it's almost like this is kind of like a little bit of spoiler, and then like we actually find out, so like we all get to speculate, and that's okay to me. But the other ones, it's like.
We'll get to those. I already know which ones we're talking about, but we'll get to them. So so that's the seasonal theme to me feels extremely kill streak-ish style again. Like it's like we're gonna round up trash, round up trash, round up trash. And if the seasonal theme is powerful, which I expect it will be powerful, then you're gonna round up a bunch of shit, and then your seasonal theme is gonna kill it. And
right.
So are we
looking at your watch like, okay, 2 minutes, and now.
Now, right.
That's terrible.
So I really hope, I don't know. So if it doesn't do damage, then it sucks. What's the point? And if it does damage, then like it's a really super timer based roundup trash seasonal theme. I don't like either of those things at all. So to me, this seasonal theme is super disappointing to me, to the point where it's like I'd almost not. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say I would rather not have it, but I definitely like the triple cube more. I mean, I haven't played it, so I'm judging it before I play it. I need to play it, see, but not excited.
Not excited. And on top of that, if these are at random, then we just added like a whole nother layer of fishing to pushing, and I hate that.
It needs to be all of them. The only way it's not going to totally suck is if it's all of them. Because if it cycles through them, then what if you get your GG level and you've already had your breathe lightning, and that's the OP one? So then you got to wait 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 more minutes to get it again. And again, that's just RNG. So it's I don't know, man.
It'd be cool, I guess, if we had
really
control.
Cool idea. Yeah.
Like if maybe they popped up, the 5 things popped up, and you click the one you want. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But even that's like, you're still like no. You're gonna like just be a really tanky build and then get everything together and then be like, okay, click my meteor.
I appreciate like the design that went into it and the effort, because I'm sure it's like, okay, these are assets that are already in the game somehow, and we can manipulate them, and we can put them in this theme, we can put them on this timer, and it's like a lot of thought and effort probably went into this theme. And so I don't want to shit on the theme like that, but when I look at it, when I step back and look at it, I'm like, man, just like this is gonna be RNG on RNG. Like we're throwing more RNG in, and I hate that aspect of it.
Totally.
It's not control. And even if it was controlled, then we're just back to pandemonium, where it's like, okay, let's time our kill streaks up. And like that feels bad too. I want something like the cube is something you control. It's, even though the cube's not super exciting. I mean, it's fun. It was fun for a little bit, but it's not super exciting, but you control it as the player. 100%. It's under your power.
Honestly, to me, like, just delete this and Season of 2K Paragon.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I would be fucking. Listen, that would get me more excited than probably all of the patch notes.
100%.
Yeah.
This would be my favorite seasonal theme, period. Season of 2K cap. Easy.
Yeah. I would be like, oh shit, we're gonna grind 2K the first week. Like we're gonna go fucking hard, and then it'll be fun. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the theme. I'm not super excited about it. I don't want to like discredit the effort they put into it, but I just don't like it personally.
Yeah.
So, But
do
you think that'll go over good with casuals? You think that's
yeah, I think there's probably something to that. Like I think that maybe they have some market research of, okay, the kill streak season was like POG, like people loved it on like the console or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of data that we don't know, but to me it's like that probably hit and they're trying to bring it back in a way.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's I would think it's probably targeted more towards casuals who, they're just gonna not even hit 800 Paragon, and they're gonna be able to go into a rift, and then all of a sudden the theme's gonna proc, and they're gonna go, oh shit, I just blew up that Rift Guardian, and I'm like, oh cool, so it's got to be that target.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, getting into the meat. First up, Demon Hunter. Now, before we get started on this, I want to let you know that this is your fault.
Yeah, this is my fault. I take credit for this one. I really do.
Because it was like 3 weeks ago, we were talking about like, oh, what should DH get? And you're like, strafe.
It's been forever. I've been saying strafe.
Why though? It's not Whirlwind Barb. It's a fucking DH. Why do we want strafe?
Listen, I already knew coming into this podcast that this was going to set it off. I fucking knew. I knew that this was going to set it off. I'm excited for this set. I mean, I read this set and I was like, yes, this was for me, man. So let's read it first and then we can talk about it.
All right, so we'll get into two-piece first. A two-piece says, gain a momentum stack when attacking with a primary skill. Each momentum stack lasts 2 seconds at a maximum of duration of 10 seconds. What? And your primary skills deal 10% more damage per stack of momentum. So that's line one of what we talked about earlier, where it's like, that's pretty unclear.
I have so many questions about that.
Yeah.
Like the first one is when attacking with primary skills. So if I have to strafe, which is going to fire my primary skills based on lower pieces of the set, is that going to count for a stack? Probably not. 2 seconds. So I'm going to continuously have to strafe, toggle, primary toggle. And then I'm assuming, and then the stacks are going to keep adding up on each other like Taeguk stacks work.
I guess, yeah. I think Taeguk's a good comparison. Yeah,
it's going to be like Taeguk stacks where you're going to get your 10, and then you're going to have to like put a left click. Like let's say a primary is on left click and strafe is on right click. You're going to have to throw those left clicks in there, those primaries in there to keep the stacks up. 2 seconds is super short though, man. So it's like you're totally busting up the synergy of
that's assuming the 4-piece doesn't proc the 2-piece. To me,
if the 4-piece procs the 2-piece, then you pog, then cool.
Then but that's not pog. Okay, so let's read 4-piece real quick. Casting strafe against enemies will automatically shoot your last used primary skill, which is a cool idea. I will say that. And also give you 60% damage reduction while strafing and for 5 seconds after. While casting strafe, you move faster per stack of momentum. Okay, so
this is why I don't think it's going to proc the 2-piece, because it says while and 5 seconds after. Because they're wanting you to stop strafing to cast your fucking primary, to start strafing again.
Or to loot. You can't strafe and loot.
I mean, I understand them, like why they would extend it, but it just makes me think that it's not going to. I hope it does.
If it's 2 second duration, I'm like, oh my God. Like that would be so
way
awful.
Too short.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to be like 10 seconds if they're going to make you stop and left click.
Yeah, and so the way I read too, so I just assume the 4-piece will proc the 2-piece, and that means like you go into the GR, you fire one primary skill, and then you just spin, and that sounds like an awful play style. Now I'm okay with this play style if like there's some big brain elements to it, like maybe there's incentive to run like multiple primary skills, and so like you swap them out per situation that you're in, and like that's a little bit more cool. But I don't think that's what this is. This is just like, I like Bola's spin. That's it.
I like Bola's spin. I don't think that this is, I mean, we don't know I don't know the damage. I'm not breaking down the damage numbers. I'm sure I'll save that for the guys that like the number crunch. I envision this as more of a GR or a faster GR build, not a push build. I think it would be okay. If it was a push build, it could end up being fun. But okay, well, I mean, let's just read the 6-piece bonus is your primary skills deal 10,000% more damage. Which is a flat damage bonus, which is so common in Diablo 3 now that it's like not even
right.
It's super expected. Like it's just okay. All right.
So
that's fine.
The 2-piece. Go back to the 2-piece. Like so, the way so we'll just assume 4-piece procs 2-piece, but outside of just the spin thing that I don't think is great. One is like, yeah, it is very unclear what that means. Is it like you just get, to me, I first read it as you get a stack that lasts 2 to 10 seconds. And so like your amount of stacks will like vary, which is kind of like an RNG factor. So like at one moment you could have like, I don't know, like 15 to 20 stacks. And then another moment you could only have 5 because your like proc is bad luck. Like you're always getting the 2-second stacks. Or what everyone else seems to think is like, well, the maximum duration is 10 seconds. So that means there's a maximum of 5 stacks, which, okay. Like everyone seems to accept that as like base fact, even though there's like no merit behind it.
I think it's Tagok just on a 2-piece, kind of. That's how I envisioned it. And now, if you're right and you can stack it up higher because of RNG, like it would fluctuate. That would be a cool mechanic, actually. I think that would be okay. It would be RNG-ish on like
I think
your damage, and that would feel bad, but.
Right, like, I didn't kill RG because I couldn't proc any more than 5 stacks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either. The things that scare me about this are how fast is your primary going to shoot out of the strafe? Are we going to have 1 a second? Are we going to have 10 a second? Are we going to have, are they just going to like light up the whole screen? And
is it based on attack speed?
Amazing, or is it going to be 1 a second? Like 1 a second is horrible, especially what if it goes the wrong direction? You know what I mean? So like your elites over here, you're spinning on the left, elites on the right, and it fires off to the left. And now you got to wait another second. I imagine it's got to just spray them everywhere, which would be cool, man. There's so many unanswered questions about this. I think having strafe fire your primary and juicing the damage of your primary is really cool. The thing that I'm a little nervous about is, are there going to be builds that don't even utilize strafe? You're just going to tap strafe for the damage bonus reduction and then sit there and spam primary. Like if let's just say that the strafe doesn't shoot it out enough or shoots it in fucked up directions. So then is it going to become this like strafe is just your defensive? Okay, so Rift Guardian strafe every 5 seconds to keep your defensive up, and now I'm just spamming primary in his face. That would be super lame.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out.
The thing that I really don't understand with the set. Okay, so I immediately see this and I'm thinking already, okay, well, why would you ever run 6-piece Dreadlands? Because you could just run Natalia and you get like 14k to all skills. So you would just run 6-piece Natalia, 4-piece gears, I think, right? Like, because you can have Natalia weapon and ring. So
yeah. If you could get 4-piece dread.
So there'd be no point.
I was also thinking about mixing the sets with this too, and so and this goes back to so we started this conversation off with you're like, this is your fault, because of the trade.
Yeah,
it probably is, and I'm fine with that. They either needed to change Natalia's or fix Natalia's and give us something else. Like the fact that Natalia's exist in its current state and wasn't changed in this patch, I'm with you, isn't super cool, because Natalia's was a strafe set. Vengeance did your damage, but Natalia had its place. Or strafe had its place in the Natalia set because Reign of Vengeance did all your damage. And they either should work on rebalancing Natalia's altogether, or this strafe set should have been something different, and they should have fixed Natalia's. Because to me, this is getting on along the lines of Pestilence and Tregules.
Stop right there. Let me stop you right there, because that's so wrong. Okay.
Why is that?
Because people are like, oh, another Bone Spear set, a mega lol. No, it's not, because Bone Spear is on Pestilence, but it shouldn't even be on there. That's how fucking pathetic that damage mod is. They should literally just delete it from Pestilence. There's no point in Bone Spear being on there. So when we have a new Bone Spear set that's actually gonna do Bone Spear damage,
I'm not talking about the new set yet.
Okay.
I'm saying that this Demon Hunter set is crossing the line of what we already have with like Pesty and Tragules, old sets both being Corpse Lance variant. Okay. Or like Sun Wuko's Wave of Light or Inna's Wave of Light. Like now we have Natalia's strafe, kind of, even though it's not doing the damage. And then now we have the Dreadlands set that's also strafe, which really, again, isn't doing the damage. It's the primaries.
Right.
So strafe is being utilized in 2 different builds, but it still isn't the damage dealing mechanic. And I think this one actually is cooler. Natalia's is cool too if they would fix it. But I think this one is actually cooler than Natalia's. If they're going to keep one of them having strafe, I think it should be this new one. and then Natalia's needs to get reworked, and maybe season 22 or 23 or whenever they can get around to reworking some of the old sets. Natalia's needs a complete redesign or to be changed from strafe. Now it does.
No.
Now it does.
No, not now. Don't put strafe on the new set. Like Natalia worked. The problem is you can mix.
It did work.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
The fact you can mix the sets is where this all got convoluted. And I don't think that you should run around and strafe should be one-shotting everything, because then you're just playing a fucking whirlwind barb. Why? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like the way Natalia played. Like, you're basically strafing to get Rain of Vengeance back, and Rain of Vengeance is your like big damage dealer, and like that was just infinitely better. And I do like the idea of like gears for Natalia 6. I think that would be kind of a unique play style. Maybe you could come up with some pretty cool ideas there, but this set, to me, it just doesn't solve anything that the Demon Hunters wanted. Basically, it's like you got primary skill damage, which is on UE, and you've got strafe, which is already on Natalia. So like, I don't know. I mean, eventually I would love to have like Udijo on, like someone just like is all about DH, but like this just doesn't make sense to me.
I like this skill. I like strafe as a skill. I think it's a cool skill, and I totally get there's the anti-whirlwind players, but there's also a huge portion of people that love whirlwind.
Then play whirlwind.
And I'm on the whirlwind
strafe and want it to be whirlwind.
But I think this could be cool, and it could be fun depending on how all these mechanics actually work.
I agree.
Like, it could be super awesome, or it could be like, what is going on? So but there's no clarification in any of this text that it gives you an idea. It's like, okay, so we're going to strafe, and that's going to shoot our primary, and our primary is going to do juicy damage. That's really all we know about this set. We don't know what's going to keep the 2-piece working, how often the primary is going to shoot out, and what direction it's going to go, or how often. Like, there's so many things. It's just like, oh man, because if it's shooting at all, if it's like half a second per cast, and it randomly just goes the wrong fucking way, it's like, so what are you going to do?
I think, then you'd be encouraged that you have to be like on top of them, basically, like in the midst of all of it.
Like, touching them, and then hopefully it procs, it has a big enough cone that it procs them regardless of which direction it goes, I guess.
Or maybe it seeks. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So yeah, maybe it shoots them the direction your mouse is.
That'd be really hard to like constantly, like you'd have to go back and like forth through them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you'd always have to.
But I envisioned it as like a 360, like they're just shooting all over the place, coming out like kind of like how your strafe goes everywhere. I envision that.
Maybe.
And if they shoot fast enough, then I think that could be really cool. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So we got changes on top of that.
Yeah. So the first change is for Leonine Bow of Hasher, which makes the bows do a 100% chance to pull enemies in within 24 yards instead of 30. And they also added a 150 damage mod to it. Mm-hmm. Now, I immediately read this. I'm thinking like support DH.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. As soon as I read this, I'm like, oh shit, somebody's going to make a support DH build.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome, man. It would give them an opportunity to get in metas. Are they going to be better than... I would assume it's probably going to take the role of the barb, because the monk heals, nothing else can heal like that. So if you put it in the barb spot, you're going to get you can get the damage reduction, I think, from the sentry totems. Have a cold rune called Polar Station, maybe. I can't remember the name. I haven't played in a while, but the Polar Station rune, it puts a circle of cold around that would I think it gives you damage reduction if they're in it, or reduces the damage output of the enemies. And then that would also proc your the gem that gives 10% crit.
Right.
Ice Blink. Is it Ice Blink? Yeah.
Yep.
And then they're gonna have the damage buff, which is gonna be crazy. They can there's a chain that they can get to that links. I don't know. There's a bunch of things that they can get, and it makes me wonder if they can take the barb's role in metas. And at least be efficient. Like, if they don't have to outperform the barb, but if they're just an option, then cool, man. Then like you can get some DHs and run.
I wouldn't mind seeing like the support classes being swapped out, because they've been barb and fucking monk since the dawn of time. Yeah,
I'm with you.
I mean, they said like we're not going to add any more support items, but then they did the shouts, and then I see this, and I my brain immediately thought support. So I don't know. So yeah, like obviously all these changes are going to affect primaries, but MMI's Duffel, I don't even know how to say that. Bolos now explode instantly, and they deal 175% increased damage. So again, obviously you would use those two together if you're using bolas. But again, I hope that's not just like, I like bolas spin.
Let's put this on.
Yeah. Ninth Satchel, Hungering Arrow is guaranteed to pierce and also deals 450 to 600% increased damage. It's a pretty big damage mod.
Yep. Yeah.
That's interesting too, because like I see pierce and like I think about that all the time in Path of Exile. Like Path of Exile, it's like a mechanic, right? You pierce, fork, and chain. Like there's really not a lot of that in Diablo 3.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the difference in pierce and POE?
Pierce is what makes it go through enemies. Fork is when it hits an enemy and it forks.
Oh, it shatters out. Yeah.
And then chain is when it like hits one guy and bounces between.
Them. Okay. Cool. Yeah. The guaranteed to pierce is cool. I mean, it's 100%, so awesome. And then, which I'm assuming if you're going to use Hungering Arrow with your primary spam, then you need that obviously. And then that damage mod is just crazy. So it does seem like they're giving you options for your primary with Strafe, and I wonder if it's for play styles within the same riff, like okay, Pack of Trash, bolas, elite, or Pack of Trash, we're going to use the Hungering Arrow, and then elite, we're going to bolas, or something like that. Or it could just be play style, like okay, I'm going to speed, so Hungering Arrow is better, and I'm going to GR, so bolas is better. But definitely, there's two options at least. From reading that, it's like okay,
yeah, at least two.
We're testing bolas and Hungering Arrow for sure.
Yeah, and then we read Odyssey's End, and you're gonna see it right away too. Enemies snared by your entangling shots take 100% to 150% increased damage from all sources. Is this the plan? Is this supposed to be a DH support set?
It's got to be, right? I mean, you're gonna throw Odysseys in there, and you're gonna.
Bow of Hashir plus Odyssey's End support DH incoming?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's got to be a thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's shitty, like I want to play it.
Yeah, I'm interested. Hunter's Wrath, your primary skills deal 30% faster and deal 150 to 200% increased damage. Flat goodness across the board. But that also says like your primary skills attack 30% faster. So the question becomes, like what you said, is it going to be more advantageous to stay outside of the strafe, or will this affect how fast they get shot out even when you're in strafe?
Yeah, I would hope that the attack speed's going to dictate how fast they shoot out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would think.
The set would be super lame if it's like strafe, stop, shoot, strafe, stop. Like that's.
I mean, it affects Necro. Like Necro, like you can corpse explosion and corpse lance faster if your attack speed is faster. Which is just speeds up the animation at which you can like do the thing, right? So it would make sense if attack speed scaled it.
Should, I hope.
And then kind of out of left field, Holy Point Shot gets a damage mod added to it.
That's for Impale.
Yeah.
They want to juice Impale to be RGK viable.
But everything else, has been associated with the new thing, and this was kind of like
So that's cool.
That's great.
I don't know if it's enough damage to make them competitive, though. I'd have to let see what people do with it, and let people that are going to crunch numbers, crunch the numbers. But to me, I don't know. I don't know if that's enough to get them competitive. To me, I look at this not really from a solo pushing standpoint, but more from an RGK perspective for metas. And in RGK, the Crusader still brings a lot to the table as far as like rounding up trash mobs and bringing things into the party. And the DH doesn't have that. It doesn't get those tools. So if DH isn't doing more damage, then it's inferior not only in damage, but it's also inferior in just like group composition as well. And so, but the problem is if you juice it up too much, then your solo pushing DH is going to be ridiculous.
Insane,
right? It's going to be stupid. So the only thoughts that I can really come up with for this is you need to get an item on Impale that provides toughness and make another item that takes up that toughness slot for extreme damage, to where they're going to be squishy enough where they can't solo with that play, but then in the meta they're going to have the supports to make them tough enough to stay alive.
That's always dangerous because like top players will still be able to use the squishy item.
Yeah, right. So there needs to be some kind of way where we can buff their group damage enough to make them viable RGKs, but you can't just do that for solo because they would be insane. Right. They would be they're already kind of tanky.
Yeah.
And I mean,
probably the best starter build in the game maybe is Shadow, just like out of the box. It's like, what?
I think it's easy to play too. Like people can really pick it up.
Yeah.
It's like,
I gave to Lindsay. I was like, go. Just like left click. And she's like, got it. And like she doesn't play video games. And she was like farming.
Yeah. So it's a good build. It's a super, super, super good starter build. And I'm scared if they buff it too much, it's gonna get like ridiculous, especially in the hands of like the pros, like the elites of the elites.
Right.
But at the same time, man, I really want it to be viable in metas. I really do, because I think it would be really awesome to have options. Like, and if they can ZDH and it can take the spot of the Barb, then awesome. Because Fury Barb can RGK. It's not as good as Crusader at the moment and live right now. After the nerfs to Crusader, which we'll talk about in a second, maybe, I don't know. But there's an option there, though. If somebody has a Fury, you're not going to be like, well, I'm not going to take you. Like, you're like, okay, I get, like, you're kind of like, damn, I wish you were a Crusader, but I'll take you anyways. At least for, for doing some 130s for fun or whatever. But if DH can get to that point, cool. But I really want competition there. And then for trash clear, like you had Necro and Witch Doctor this season. Necro's off the table because of the triple cube next season, unless this corpse explosion stuff can be nasty, which we'll get into in a little bit.
It's not even that. Yeah.
So, I'm excited for DH, man. I think they did some cool things. I think this set could be fun. I really wish that they would fix Natalia's too. I was hoping to see some Natalia's changes in here, although I don't know why I expected that. I guess because Whirlwind got buffed at the same time they introduced the new Barb set. Or maybe the season before, I guess, wasn't it? So, but yeah.
I mean, so I to summarize, like that Holy Point shot, I think is awesome. I think it's more to like probably just bring up the solo to like be maybe near the top, like probably over grenades, rapid fire, because I don't think that a lot of people love that play style. So that's probably more what it is than it is like an RGK attempt. But I mean, hopefully it helps it be a competitive RGK, especially early.
I hope so too. Yeah, that would be my thing. Like it obviously needs to get brought up to be in line for solo, anyways. Like it's pretty lacking. But once they dial that in, if RGK is still like not even viable, I think it was a fun RGK build for the one season we had it. So it'd be cool to make it competitive. I don't know how they can figure out a way to make it viable in metas and not single. But I don't know, maybe you guys out there have some great ideas, man. Throw them in the comments and see what you guys come up with,
I need to reach out to, like, we need to get a DH man on stream, because like I always feel bad because it's like I know like literally Necro inside and out, but like when it comes to all their stuff, like I'm familiar with it, but it's not like, wow, I know like everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always just feel kind of bad.
Yeah. Right? So it's like I threw the builds together and played them, but
but boys, Necromancer. Whew. There's so much good stuff in here.
Blaming you for this one.
Good.
It would have been a corpse build.
Yeah, it should have been. I thought it. I was just shocked and pleased that it was not Revive. I was very excited with that.
Do you want to read it first before we get into? Let's read it first before we.
I mean, it's not a Revive set. Spoiler alert.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
That it's not Revive?
Yeah.
Probably good. I mean, obviously, I didn't get to see what they would have came up with for Revive, but I think Revive would have been a little resident sleeper. Like I don't think it would have been super fun. I gotta admit though, man, I'm not super like excited jumping out of my pants when I saw Bone Spear either. I wasn't like, dude, this is a skill I love. I just wasn't, man.
Yeah.
And so I jump on a Necro. I've used Bone Spear before. You use it in Z Necro builds and other things and stuff. And so I jumped on my Necro and I started casting Bone Spear with all the different runes just to kind of see what it played like. And I don't know, man. It's
what's going on?
Oh, okay. I haven't played it. You know what I mean? I haven't played, like, wasn't excited about the Witch Doctor set, either the Spirit Barrage set. And then once I played it, I was like, oh, this is really fun. This is actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say like this sucks because I haven't played it, but I am going to say like I wasn't excited when I read. I wasn't like, oh shit, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Bone Spear was actually my recommendation for the new set. In my huge Necro posts on the D3 forums.
Good job, Fluff.
Yeah.
If this sucks, it's your fault. This better be the shit.
But honestly, it feels like, one, they made a set based around the Razor Teeth build, and I don't know if you ever got to see that, but it's pretty pog. Like, you got your Simulacrum clones, and they all throw out the teeth, and so they're just like fucking... It's basically like multi-shot DH, but there's 2 other multi-shot DHs following you around, also casting multi-shot. It's pretty pog.
That's Bone Spear?
Yeah, that's Razor Teeth. Yeah, it's Bone Spear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't use that rune.
It looks pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It looks okay. I didn't see that. Let me log back on it because I sat there and went through all the ones. Let me look at it again.
Yeah, that's Razor Teeth. Bone Spear. So yeah, like what I said, it does kind of feel like they made a set. One that would be really good for this. This would be like a great speed farming option. But I think there'd be some push implications as well with like crystallization and maybe even some meta implications with the blow up rune or the pierce rune. But it's gonna be pretty pog, I think. But to get into what it actually does,
right? Because I want to talk about
I
want to talk about some of the set bonuses.
So the new set is called Masquerade of Burning Carnival, which that sounds very Witch Doctor-y to me, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this would be the ultimate troll is if like the Diablo 3 team like made it like a clown suit because they know it's the class that I play or something. That would be pretty epic, and I would be upset at the same time. But 2-piece
and took it so where you can't transmog it.
Right.
Untransmoggable.
The 2-piece reads: your Simulacrum clones no longer take damage. They gain all runes, and the cooldown is refreshed when you die, which is pretty unique. So that's big because Simulacrums can die in their current form. And all the runes, 4 out of the 5 runes are very good.
I just put the teeth rune on, and you're right. I must have missed that one, dude. I don't know how, because I sat there and went through all of them.
Did you think I was lying to you?
Yeah, I was like, how did I miss this? Like, what am I doing here? So I must have. That's an okay-ish one. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, so he gains all runes, and 4 out of the 5 runes are very good. So you got the double Simulacrum rune, the Blood and Bone, which is great because it means you'll have 2 clones. You've got the Apply All Curse, which has a lot of options with it. The base effect, which is really cool, because none of those curses really get used other than Frailty and
the
Crepify. The Life Leech, like, literally never sees the light of day.
Yeah, you'll have a Life Leech one too. So
yeah. And then what else is there? There's the Essence, the double Essence. Like, that's huge. Reservoir is for free. And then the other one that's absolutely massive is like basically you get double cheat deaths.
Yeah.
So you get, like,
if you die, your Simulacrum does instead, and you're healed full.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, it doesn't take your pets. Wait. Well, I mean, it takes that pet, but I'm saying, like, it's not a cheat death that takes all of your pets.
Right. But the cool thing here is like the cooldowns refresh when you die. Like, that's a big complaint. Is like, especially some of the builds that I make, like Land of the Dead. If you die like 4 seconds after his cast or something, then
you're fucked.
You revive and you're like, fuck.
That should be a thing kind of regardless, I feel like. But there would probably end up being builds where you just like Zerg die and just repeatedly. So, there needs to be some mechanic against that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The runes, like Simulacrum wasn't something that I really paid a whole lot of attention to outside of just running Singularity mages. And because you would run it with the singularity mages for rats. When you're doing rats, the simulacrum damage is obviously nutty. But the big call to that was just getting the double essence was really like the big portion of it. So
well, yeah, double mages, double essence, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome for that. I don't know, man. So outside of that one rune, your thoughts on Bone Spear? I mean, that one rune is pretty cool. That it shoots kind of like a multi-shot-ish style.
Well, let's get into the rest of the set.
Okay.
So 4-piece, while you have Simulacrum, damage reduced by 50%. Damage you take is split between your Simulacrums as well. There is some controversy on this one because of the way it reads. Is that damage mitigation, or is that your actual damage is reduced by 50%?
Yeah.
To me, it kind of felt like it was actually double mitigation, because I think that their plan is to like maybe not really allow you to use mitigation jewelry with the set, so they're trying to make up for it. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, because Necromancer doesn't use focus and restraint, so
yeah,
this could be the first FNR build. I don't know. A lot of builds really use FNR anymore, but
it's got a lot of reduction there, though. This is like one of the first sets where I think like, oh, you can actually maybe get hit once and not die.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I mean, you're gonna get 50% damage reduction from while your simulacrums are out. So, and like you're saying, we don't know exactly how that's gonna work. But then it's gonna split it like you have a unity on, is how I read the second part.
Yeah.
So like whatever damage you would take, half of that is getting chopped off
between two followers.
Well, yeah. So like, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a 50-50 split. 50% goes to you. The other 50 gets divided among your pets.
I don't know.
See, that's how I read it. But there's so many ways you could take it.
Right.
But that's when I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, so I got a unity on, and my mitigation's increased by 50%. And then but on top of that, you know, like what if you threw on a unity also and had your follower too? So like, is it going to be like stupid damage, like
reduction?
Stupid tanking? Like,
yeah.
Or is it still going to be necro and you're going to get one shot by anything? Like I just,
yeah.
Because your simulacrums can't die. It wasn't one of the runes. They don't take damage, right? So yeah, the two pieces says they don't take damage. Right. So it's like they're never dying.
They're followers, yeah. You have two followers, then have unity.
You have two followers with unity, all the time,
which is dope. And then 6P says your Bone Spear deals 10,000% increased damage. Simulacrums gain triple this bonus.
So your simulacrums are going to just be wrecking.
Yes. The only thing, I will say something negative. The only thing I really don't like, the simulacrums like fuck off and they do whatever the hell they want. Like they literally do. Like they're the worst. Like they're worse than like.
Do you think that was on purpose? You think that triple was on purpose because they fuck off and they just like, well, we can't make them like really do what we want. So if we just give them a lot of damage, then when they do the right thing, you'll be super rewarded. And if they fuck off, at least that stuff will die.
I don't know.
You know,
I always wanted the simulacrums to like be kind of attached to you at the hip or something. Like they would always have to stay within like 4.
And they shoot what you shoot. Yeah. Like they shoot at your target. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they always shoot at your target. It just, if there's something in their way, they'll just be like, I'm going to stay here and like attack this guy.
Yeah.
So they're great. But yeah, so that'd be my only complaint with that. It's like the simulacrums are just like they're AI, like they're the dumbest mobs in the game.
Witch Doctor pets are pretty stupid, man.
True. Yeah. This might be on a whole nother level though. I don't know. But I don't play enough Witch Doctor to really make that call. Yeah, I mean, I like it. Because again, I feel like they're giving basically a set to like the Razor Teeth build. One-shot spear is like one of the most popular builds still. It's not even like that fast, but people fucking love it. And you just like, you got Breaks Wrath, so you curse everything and it gets concentrated in like a tiny little circle. And then you hit it with that Bone Spear that does the AoE when it hits. And it's really, really strong. And just like everything explodes. So
this made me think when I was reading this set the first time, I'm thinking, damn, Bone Spear damage and then all the damage on Bone Spear. I'm thinking like RGK keeps going through my head with this build. I'm thinking this is going to be some insane RGK damage. Like you're going to just F RGK up. But there's so many mechanics that I want to know. Like, okay, do your simulacrums are probably they're pets. They can't proc your stricken. But that triple bonus, like when there's just the RG, there's nothing else for them to hit. you're stacking your stricken up, and you're
I don't know.
have...
They don't stack stricken because they're not pets.
I would think that they couldn't, but maybe they can. I mean, if they can, then crap.
I don't know.
Are you getting
actually
3 stricken stacks per cast? That would be insane. I would be super surprised at that.
But there's been some weird mechanics. So like they aren't pets, so they don't benefit from like the damage of Enforcer and like stuff like that. But they benefit from the mitigation of Enforcer, which is weird, right?
Know. Yeah, and is it intended or is that bug? You know what I mean?
I think it's a bug. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. There's some weird interactions.
So it's interesting though. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, so Necro's back, and Necro's gotta be in metas, man. Like, I can't see a world where the pay-to-win class.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, look at this, right? Like, there's so much here, and I don't know if it's like maybe that they're like, well, like if you're really gonna go ham on one class, it should be the one class that people have to pay for. Because like we just got so much here. Yeah. Like it's pretty nutty. Or it's someone loves me.
I'm hoping they're gonna get RGK, but let's keep going. Yeah. So there's more. There's more to this.
Yeah, and so to go back on what you said before we just move on a little bit, like I do think there are some implications, like you said, like the crystallization rune could be pretty big for solo pushing, could be pretty big for like a 4-man RGK. You might have some implications with like the explodey rune with a group meta, because the group meta is all about sucking things into a tight little area. Like maybe I'm sure we'll figure it out. But yeah, Grasp of Essence. Now, before we talk about Grasp of Essence, I want to go all the way down to the big thing here. Is Corpse Explosion's base damage went up from 350% to 1050.
That's huge.
3 times.
That's a lot of juice.
That's a 3-time bonus.
That's some juice.
That's an insane juice, which is great, because Corpse Explosion might be one of the most satisfying skills in the game, right up there with EP. And so Grasp of Essence, which is the one Corpse Explosion item in the game, the gloves, now deals 200% instead of 100% per stack. So that's 5 stacks, so that's 500% more damage there. So triple the damage on the base rune plus double damage on the item. It's pretty big.
It's a lot of juice.
It's a lot of juice. And so, that has some pretty big, like, Anarius, I think will actually be a pretty decent start, because we do start with Anarius next season. So I think Anarius will now become a pretty decent starter set, because it's a flat 10k, and all you got to do is throw the Corpse Explosion gloves on, which you can get at level 1. So I think that could be pretty big. Leveling with Necro could be easier than ever.
Just running around. Gripping stuff up, just blowing it up.
Also a big deal for like the Corpsemancer. I don't know, like if that holds up over time, but it was one of the most popular builds for a while. Excited to test that. This is pretty big to go back to the set, but other implications as well. Haunted Visions, which is the simulacrum necklace, before it would drain 5% of your life every second and lasts twice as long, but now it lasts forever.
Right.
Which is huge. And they can now duplicate Grim Scythe instead of Skeletal Mage.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, huge. Man. So this is the first touch, but this was Let's Shit on Rat Runs patch.
Well, how do you read that?
They can't duplicate your mages, so you're not going to get double mages anymore in Simulacrum. You're not going to get 2 casts.
Okay, so that's how everyone read it, and I think that I get it.
It says instead. It doesn't say also. It says can now duplicate Grim Scythe instead of mages.
Right, but if you're not running Grim Scythe, why would they copy what you're not doing?
It says can duplicate instead, which means like no longer.
No, it can. Can is the key word there. It's not like they now duplicate Grim Scythe instead of Skeletal Mage.
So you're saying you got Grim Scythe on your bar and Skeletal Mage, and if you cast it, it could be either or.
Yes, and I think if it functions exactly like it always has, outside of that, because they're just going to copy your secondary skills. Like
why wouldn't they just say can now duplicate Grim Scythe also?
That would be a better verbiage, wouldn't
it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like instead of Skeletal Mage implies like no longer can they do Skeletal Mage. Like it also would have been the word right there.
Yeah.
So I I think that it can't anymore.
Okay.
Until it shows that it can, I read that as it can't. It's like, I just don't know why they wouldn't say also or no longer. Like, it can now duplicate Grim Scythe.
Yeah.
No longer Skeletal Mate, or it's just not clear, man. Like, I'm with you. Like,
I've heard through the grapevine that my interpretation is correct, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope.
Yeah.
Because I read this as bye, like shit on rats is how I read that.
I do think
step one.
Yeah. Jokes aside, they are looking to like pull rats out of the meta. So like,
but have they though? We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, okay.
But the important part of this is like to obviously, maybe it could replace Skeletal Mage, blah blah blah, but it does duplicate Grim Scythe now, so that's huge. That has, I don't know if you ever played Poison Scythe, but that's nutty for Poison Scythe.
I haven't played Poison Scythe. If I have, it's been so long.
Ledger's Insane, does that ring a bell?
No.
Okay, so Ledger's Insane is that offhand Phylactery that if you swipe and your like essence is 0, like you get more damage, like based on like how much essence you basically gain back.
Okay.
And so with your simulacrums now being able to get this also is like that swipe does a fuck ton of damage, and then they get to do it too. That's huge. So
you could drain all of your essence with an ability like Singularity Mages.
Yep. And that's how it worked before. And that sucked. But now
and then swipe.
We got Razor's Volition.
Uh-huh.
So now we get Singularity for free across all the runes. So now we get a Poison Mage.
Okay.
That is now Singularity and an Essence Dump. So Poison Scythe finally has a non-clunky way of dumping Essence. And it's a poison ability.
Yeah, it's a poison ability, so it's going to buff
Nairs.
Because you're going to use Nairs Black Death, which gives you more damage.
Huge. Huge. This, whew. And so if you guys haven't played it, it is probably one of the most tanky builds in the game. Like, no kappa. I know that might sound crazy because it's Necro, but you can just like literally stand there and face tank a lot of shit. And you just stack area damage. It's a ton of fun. I'm super excited to try this.
What set are you running?
LOD. I think
it's all LOD.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if you could fix this new. Like, it's got Bone Spear, so you couldn't, I guess. But I just that 4-piece is so much juice, dude.
Yeah, so I think that they maybe want Grace Inarius to be like the Grim Scythe build, and that was kind of my suggestion as well. But like they buffed the 4-piece of Inarius, which is nice because it's more tankiness, but like there's no 6-piece bonus, and Inarius is 10k at 6-piece, and it's like only 250% more than LOD, and LOD gives you all the juice in the world. So
I kind of was like, really? That's all Inarius got?
Like, that one kind of hit me out of blue.
Yeah, we're jumping a little bit though. So Razith is going to give you the Singularity runes. So you're saying that's going to be super pog for Poison Scythe.
Super pog for Poison Scythe, but also for mages, because now you get archers. Now you get the blood mages. Now you get the Poison Mage. There's already been, SVR's been theory crafting a Poison Mage, 4-man, like, potential AoE damage dealer. Like, that's one thing. Yeah. I also think that Sleeper is the Poison Scythe build here. I'm just calling it now. It could also be a contender for 4-man DPS, probably. But certainly the best solo build. So, very excited about it. Plus, it's got more mitigation on it. And that's already one of the most tanky builds in the game. So we just got more damage reduction.
Right.
And the cool thing here is too, is that kind of doubles up like the people that can't survive in like rats or just playing mages. You're never going to be at full essence if you're playing right. So
usually. I mean, I guess it depends on if you're running well. With the changes to rats, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And Jesseth got juiced a little.
Yeah, Jesseth got massively juiced. This is something I've been advocating for like since the dawn of Necro. Is like it just made you're already penalized for having command skeletons on your bar. Right. So like why limit it to pets? Yeah. And plus it's like, we've all said it, like it's the coolest looking like some of the coolest looking items in the game, like the skull shield and the skull scythe, and like you can't use it at all. So super huge. Very excited to test this out. The skeletons.
Yeah. So what they just changed it. They just took the pet damage off.
Yeah,
and just made it flat 400. If you're not familiar with the old one, because they didn't put the old one in there, which is kind of weird. But it used to be when you command skeletons to attack, they would only give you 400% pet damage, which was okay with singularity mages at times. I mean, like Scythe of the Cycle was always a better choice. But it would get you started. But now it's like, damn, you could throw this in with
a lot
and cube the other things, and it's like, oh shit.
Because Necro's got good weapons, right? So
this with triple cube would have been
insane.
Like, oh my god, that would have been nuts.
Yeah.
So,
but you do have to sacrifice that skill slot, which is pretty hard to to theory craft around. So it is interesting. But the good thing about the skeletons is they do proc Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, so that's good for Necro because we're mostly cooldown stuff. The only thing I don't like about this is there is no poison rune that's spammable on the skeleton dudes. Like there's no poison rune you can just spam. Like the only other poison rune is the one that makes them blow up, and so they don't stay commanded, and you can't spam it because there's no pet to spam.
And then a lot of times I've noticed, I think when you command them, it puts a small hesitation on your character.
Really?
I think
it's off GCD.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not then. I thought when you did it, your character would like stutter step for a second when you did it. So maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe I'm missing that with something else. I hope it doesn't. If it does, then that's even worse, because then if you're spamming it, it's like.
No, the great thing about the skeletons is that they are off the GCD, so they can sit there and you could be spamming the skeletons like on a target, and you could be like throwing out spears, and you'd be getting like double procs of Obsidian Ring.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, it's not as big a problem if you can just sit there and spam it. It is unfortunate that, again, it's another, and Necro is like so bad with this, Devour and all these other skills, that it's like constantly spam. Yeah. It's just like it constantly just forcing you to spam these buttons, and it's such a bad mechanic. Like they either need to make it to where like when your skeletons are commanded for 5 seconds, you get the bonus, or 10 seconds or something, to where you're not constantly just for, because no person can do that for 8 hours or 5 hours or even
lucky
3 hours,
for us is like we're on PC, so we can just numlock, but like console, like that's gotta really suck.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. So I would hope like that's one of I'm not an advocate for this because I think it sucks, but it's not. It's the way the game is designed. There needs to be an autocast function built into the game's base core. And again, I'm saying this not because I want it, because it's just the way the game's designed. It needs it. And you need to be able to right click when you're in a rift, because in town, if you right click, you can shift your skills around.
Sure.
But in a rift, if you right click a button, it should autocast as soon as it's available automatically.
Right.
And then your finger doesn't fall off. And it's stupid. And I don't like that. Like I wish they would just redesign the skills to where that's not required. But if that's too much of a chore, like please just build the autocast function.
Yeah.
Because numlocking is dumb. It shouldn't be a thing.
I don't necessarily love. I mean, I'm glad that we can numlock. God,
I'm glad we can too,
but it does suck that like if we're being as efficient as possible, like it's still better to macro than it is to numlock. And that sucks because macroing is against TOS. So they kind of like encourage it by how they've done their game.
Yeah, the game design choices don't make a lot of sense. Like spam this button, but then we're not going to help you spam the button. So what are you like? Why? I don't know. I think they could easily fix that by either making a pass on the abilities that are spammed like that, and put after you cast this, it's going to. Whatever bonus it gives, it does that bonus for 5 or 10 seconds. Like an example would be Devour. So you press the Devour button and it devours all the corpses pretty much on the screen. I don't remember the radius, but it's like, okay, so you press that button. How about you devour all the corpses on the screen for the next 10 seconds or 5 seconds, to where you don't have to do it as much.
But then you're in the same boat, because it's like you're going to want to cast that off cooldown. So like you're going to numlock it or you're going to macro it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's and it kind of seems like that's what the rune the auto corpse rune. What is
aura,
it called?
devouring aura.
Devour aura, yeah, and like frailty aura, and say, but like devour aura is already.
Sucks.
It's like we know it sucks to press this button. Let's make a rune that presses it for them.
Right.
And it's like, really, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So, but an auto cast right click option once you're in the rift, just right click the skill and it casts it. Like, dude, that would go so far.
It would,
So.
Oh man, but so Justice we talked about. Grace Venarius again. Yeah, they added a mitigation buff to it. Cool. Which is kind of weird. This is the thing I don't understand. So seemingly, if we read 4-piece Carnival, like it could be double mitigation. So like that sounds pretty tanky. And then they add more mitigation to 4-piece Venarius, and then we get down to Pestilence, and Pestilence is getting a double damage buff, which I fucking love. Because Pestilence is my favorite, but nothing to go with it. So like we're gonna have the damage to jump up like 10 GRs and speed,
but you're not staying alive.
No mitigation to go with it, and we already get one shot in like 90s.
I thought the same thing. Like you get one shot on Pestilence like a madman anyways. Like when you're pushing, you're dead. Like there's no like hardcore. Maybe you guys stay alive a little. I don't know, but. When I read this again, I just went and thought, well, is this going to make them RGK viable again? You know what I'm saying? Because it used to be the RGK, Cold Lands. And so your toughness isn't going to be as big of a factor in the 4-man metas. I mean, if you die, it sucks, but you're really not needed until the RG
end,
anyway.
right?
So like you're just.
I mean, a good RGK necro will help out with like those.
Yeah, exactly. But the point, if you do, it's not like it's as important. And you have all the extra mitigation from your partners. So is that enough, man? Is doubling the damage of Pestilence going to be enough to make them a viable option again? I think it's a really cool option. I like it. You know, I think Pestilence was a really fun RGK to play, especially just to watch the boss's health just disappear. That's how I read it because I was the same as you. I'm like, man, there is no way you're staying alive. Like, good, they doubled the damage, but so you're gonna corpse hop to elites, die, wait for your cooldowns, res, kill him, try to get to the next elite before you die, and then the same thing. So
and then it's like, how far does this take us in the solo pushing? Is this enough to like make it in line? But again, we were struggling. I was struggling at like 2K Paragon and 117s to stay alive, and then like now we just got like that's like 4 or 5 more GR levels easily, and we have no mitigation to make up for it, so it's gonna be like it's gonna be tough.
But this is the first round though. I think this feedback is like and here's something that I keep trying to tell people. Do you remember the first iteration we got of the monk set?
Oh my god,
and the Crusader set? Like, and look what they became. Like they released some pretty good sets out of that. And that first monk set was like, what is this? So I think as a first pass, these are some phenomenal starter sets to play with, and especially if they iterate on them like they have in the past. So because man, so this is the first wave, and I hope like feedback like that, like this is cool that Pestilence got all this damage, but how are we going to stay alive? Like what's your like what are we going to do to and once we try the example, the DH set, and we're like, we can't control where these primaries are shooting. Like, what are we going to do about that? So
and then like this even being on the set is what's causing the controversy. So people are like, another Bone Spear set. So 6 pieces of Pestilence reads, each corpse you consume grants you an empowered Bone Spear charge, increasing the next damage of your Bone Spear with 3,300%. That's 0. It might as well say 0 because it does nothing.
We got 1 Bone Spear, so you got you juiced up 1 Bone Spear.
But even a 3,300% damage mod with Bone Spear is garbage. It's total fucking garbage. So, it's not that we're getting another Bone Spear set. We're getting a Bone Spear set.
It says each corpse you consume grants you an empowered. So is it 3,300% per corpse?
So you get stacks. So it's like at 50 stacks, you can get store up to 50 stacks. So.
Yeah, so 50 stacks times 33.
No. It's just 3,300, and you lose a stack.
So 50 Bone Spears.
Yeah.
They need to just, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not going to be good,
right?
It's just not going to be good.
So yeah, that's the confusion. Like people are like, oh, a mega lol Diablo 3, like giving us skill that's already on another set. Like, no, not really, at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, man. Oh my god, I honestly I couldn't be happier. I mean, obviously, Tragul and Rathma are completely left in the dust here. But I think that, the way Blizzard's been doing things, there is definitely room in the future for like sets to get like looked at again or buffed.
I mean, this is the cycle that Diablo has always done.
Right.
It's always been this. It's like patch day, what sets got buffed? Cool. I'm playing these new sets that got buffed. And then next patch, it's the sets that were behind. And it's just totems, man. It's always been totems. It's always been a cycle. Perfect balance does not exist. It's impossible. Can they get they've gotten closer at points. So hopefully by the end of all of this, they'll be a lot closer with things. But we got toys to play. And like I said, this is the first round. So if we actually get some really good stuff to tweak off the bat where they don't have to go in and redesign an entire set. Like they redesigned that monk set from what we got in a course of a couple weeks.
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean,
it's pretty big changes too. Yeah.
Yeah, if we get this and it's pretty close and we're just like, hey, like there's some good feedback, let's change these couple things, then hopefully they can kill it and knock it out of the park. But the Crusader getting that hammer a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Just quickly before we move on, I do know that people are upset that maybe like we didn't get a revive set. But again, like Rathma was left in the dust, and Rathma could very well in the future be the revive set, like 100%. So I don't know. I'm not super worried that revive didn't get buffed. It could see something in the future. So just keep hope if you really, really wanted revive.
No, it's Fluff's fault. You should definitely.
Yeah, it is my fault because Bone Spear's better. Crusader, Shield Verdi, like you said, I got 10 stacks instead of 20.
They lost 10,
which is a pretty big hit. And this is like what we go back to time and time again. It's like, this feels so bad to the players that are casual. Because it's like, we got nerfed and like we weren't doing that much to begin with. And it's just like those top 1%ers that are just doing nutty RGK damage.
Yeah.
It's just like, I wish...
It's juicy. It's super juicy. We did 142, something like that, and the RGK was like 2K-ish Paragon. It wasn't crazy, in the realm of normal. And I mean, he killed the Rift Guardian in a minute, a minute and a half or something. I mean, it was fast. So, I don't know. Solo, I haven't kept up with Crusader solo. I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm still like disappointed that it's still the Holy Shotgun playstyle instead of like the beams from the sky. Like
the beams are really cool, man.
Beams are so cool.
You know what the beams do though? They break the fucking game.
Do they in groups?
The game. Oh my god.
Well,
if you get stuff stacked up, you can be in like a 110, 115, and if you get a decent stack and the Crusader drops the beams in the middle of the stack, it's done. Like you're sitting there until you're dead.
It has something to do with like how it ticks.
Yeah, I guess it's just area damage on all the things. I don't know. So a bad RGK is really noticeable because he'll put his pillars in the middle of the trash and then lags the group out and kills it. A good one sets like one pillar off to the side just enough to get him enough wrath to keep up and not lag the server out. So wait,
so you're talking about the pillars from the set, or are you talking about the beams from the sky from the room that nobody uses?
I'm sorry, I'm talking about the pillars from the set. Okay. Are you talking about beams for the?
Yeah, like because we still encourage the playstyle of the Holy Shotgun versus like
the Fisher runes are what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I was talking about like the other runes on Heaven's Fury, all the other runes that don't make it fork in front of you. They come down from the sky. Like I always wanted that to be the playstyle.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it does look dope.
Cool. The shotgun playstyle is fun though. I don't want them to break that.
But it's already on LOD. That was my thing to begin with. It's like there was already like LOD.
But it's not a good.
Yeah, but they could have just buffed the items that go with it instead of, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm with you. That's the problem with the game is there's so many cool runes that, like example, I think Death Nova on Necro is like the coolest looking skill ever. Like that explosion, just the way it animates, the way it looks, it's like this blob of just
blood,
nasty. Yeah, it's goo, and it's cool as hell. And like we got to use it a little bit this season because of the triple cube, but like it's gone again. Like it's next season, you can't. It's not a viable play. You think you got something in your back pocket?
I mean, at the very least, it's always been playable in T16 since LOD got buffed. Like it's actually a really good T16 build. But
yeah, and I've used it for that. The single target once you start getting up just is so horrific. But
the permanent uptime on the simulacrums, I mean, that has
like helps that. Yeah,
you can run Blood and Bone, so you can have double novas, like triple novas going out.
Yeah, it's just such a cool looking skill, and that's just an example. And like, there's so many different skills and different runes that are like, man, that looks so fucking cool, but you're never gonna use it. You know? But what do you do about that? They can't fix 50 runes. You know, they can't make all 50 for every class, everything.
Yeah, it does feel bad for the boys. I do still think, honestly, even in spite of this, the Crusader will still be the RGK. Mm-hmm. Like, if it can do like a 142 in like a minute and a half.
This doesn't change it. Right. This doesn't change metas, I don't feel like. Like, this is going to change solos a little bit, maybe. But it's not going to affect, like, they're still going to kill it. So instead of killing it in 2 minutes, now it takes 3.5 minutes.
4 minutes, you know what I mean? Sure. It's still good for an RGK.
Frickin's still going to stack, you know, so it's still going to be juicy.
Yeah.
But we'll get to more things that they change that makes me super sad in a little bit. But
right. To go with that, real quick, while we were talking about blood, or the Blood Nova, so Mantle Channeling finally got added for Necro. I don't know why, but it just like never worked for the Necro.
Yeah, we got a channel for a minute and a half for it to kick in. I'm joking. Shit. It's a second. That bothers me still to this day.
I agree.
It bothers me, man.
I agree.
It just because of Wizard now, Necro also. And I don't even
that's a good point you bring up. Just that, right? So because of Wizard, Mantle Channeling gets nerfed for everybody. And now because of rat runs, Reaper's Wraps are getting nerfed for everybody.
Yup.
And that sucks.
I hate this change. I absolutely hate this change. I do, man. Like,
what do you play that uses Reaper's Wraps other than rat runs, I guess?
I don't like it for rat runs. I don't like that they broke rat runs. I just don't.
You can't have rat runs still be the meta going forward. Like that's
no, but you can nerf it. You can make other things more viable, and you could change some things to make rats not as viable. But like Reaper, and I guess that's what this is. But I don't know, man.
I don't see this killing rats at all.
No, it's not, because you don't even have to have Reaper Wraps. You can just get permanent uptime with Messerschmitts and Land of the Dead.
Well, you can't though, because that's this season. The DPS Necro could never run Reaver. It's just this season.
Yeah.
So like
so you have 2 rats cycling Land of the Dead as long as they're not synchronized, and your Reaper Wraps are still going to work a little bit, even though it's going to have a cooldown. It's still going to work a little bit, and your Z Necro could run Messerschmitts though, and could have permanent uptime on Land of the Dead.
Yes, but it already has, it always has had permanent uptime.
Always had that. And so he's going to be still making globes. I mean, it's going to neuter it a little bit, but it could still be a thing. It doesn't break it.
Right.
It just makes it suck a little more.
Sure. And it kind of needed to suck a little bit more. I think that Blizzard's objective with this season is to shift, right? But if we look at season 19, like season 19, you know, the Whirlwind, like people were pogging out for the Whirlwind kind of setup with the Crusader, but you know, Crusader got nerfed.
Don't get me wrong though. I'm not saying I want to run rats, dude. I'm done with rats. Like everybody, I'm done with rats. I'm not saying I want to do it. I don't like breaking items that other classes can use because of a class. That's what I'm saying. Mantle of Channeling should not be fucked for Barbarian and Necro and Fire Bats and like every other skill that uses it because of Star Pact Wizard just abusing the mechanics.
Right.
Like fix Star Pact, fix the rune, fix Wizard, change it. I don't know, but don't break the other classes. And Reaper Wraps, although like you're saying, I don't even know of any other build that uses it besides Necros.
I'm sure noobs use it all. We see it in the Challenge Rift all the time, right? Like
But
it's a free legendary from Matthew.
Just don't break it. But this is the most effective way, I feel like, to slow rats down. Kind of. I mean,
yeah. My brain would have went to like globe generation, but I guess like
I would have. Yeah, exactly. Land of the Dead shouldn't spawn 50 billion globes.
Yeah, you could just. But here's the thing:
I said that in like season 11. The very first season rats appear was at 10 or 11. I don't remember. But as soon as rats became a thing, I actually lost a bet to my chat because I was like, there is no way that globe generation is not neutered next season. And they didn't change it. And then that's when I was like, okay, pay to win. That's when I got on the pay to win bandwagon, because I'm like, Necro is 3 of the characters in rat runs.
Yeah. So I do like if you took away. Here's the thing though: if you took away the passive for the Necros to generate globes, I feel like it would just get replaced. Like the Barb can now generate globes too with double effectiveness because of the shout.
Can you get that many though?
I don't know. And then there's also that stupid selenium or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
like you could bring that guy in.
Stupid.
I don't know. I feel like people would still find a way to generate generating globes are just kind of dumb. Period. I don't know, but I guess if you nerf globe generation across the board, then like, what's the point of even having Reaper's Wraps? I don't know.
Refresh my memory. It's been a little bit since I played POE. Do they have a health globe item that drops on the ground, or is it's just potions, right?
Potions get recharged from kills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm saying that they don't have an item you'd run over.
No.
So
it heals you or anything like that. No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same mechanic, kind of. I don't know. I just don't even know if I like the idea of globes.
Yeah.
But it's too late to change that core. I'm thinking for D4. Like, should D4 have health globes that spawn like this?
It did, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think it did.
I think it did. But I don't know.
I hate that. Yeah.
But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, do I even like that mechanic to be in the game? And I don't think I do, because I just like you're fighting a monster. Like beat them. Like you have a potion. You can use that if you're in trouble. And then whatever, if they want to do cooldown timer or they want to go POE style with kills, refresh it, or I don't know.
But that's why I like POE, because you have to think about recovery. You have to build recovery into your builds. You have to get like life leech, maybe life on hit, maybe like energy shield recovery rate, life recovery rate. Like you have to think about those things. Otherwise, like, if you can't leech from mobs or something and you don't have a health potion up,
that's what life steal or life per hit or something. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of the globe mechanic in general. So going forward in D4, I hope it's a better system. Yeah. Although, man, I really think it was globes in D4, but I can't. I'm gonna have to go back and watch footage now.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was so. I remember it being like Diablo 3.
Yeah, it seemed so just like that I was like, there's okay, I already know how to play this. Like,
God, it was so surreal. Right? Like we talk about it a lot, but like it like we both like. It was so surreal because it was like, this is cool, but it's like, whoa, like I'm playing Diablo 3.
I remember my initial reaction being so mixed because I was like, graphically, I'm like, oh, this is like beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we left the demo, we played, and then we were like, this is D3.5. Like we both were like
that's like D3, right? Yeah.
It feels just like D3, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Then convention. I guess, or was that where we're at on this list?
It's Stone of Jordan we skipped over, and this is the most brain aneurysm inducing text of the whole thing, I think.
Well, I'll tell you how I interpreted it after you read it. See if you got
everyone seems to agree on a certain way, but the way it's I can't even like read it straight because my brain just can't fathom it. So each Stone of Jordan now has an added power, which is great. Each of your elementals damage bonus is equal to your highest static elemental bonus to skill.
Okay. And that seemed pretty clear to me instantly. Okay, what they're saying is in game, if you're in the game and you pull up your character sheet and then you hit your details button, it shows you your elemental damage increase or physical or poison or whatever you have, right? So the highest of those, so for an example, let's say that you're playing a Talrasha wizard and you're going to go with a lightning rune, for example, or lightning damage. May or may not choose that. Might choose cold, I don't know. Let's say you're going lightning. And so it says lightning damage increased by 60%. Let's say you got 20% on neck bracers and I don't know, whatever else. And so you got 60%. That's your highest one. Okay. So since that's your highest, that's what the damage bonus is going to do. Each of your elementals damage bonuses. So now your lightning was 60%. So now your cold, fire, poison, whatever are all now 60%.
Sure.
That
makes sense to me. The way you just described it. I don't know how you write that into like one sentence, but this sentence for me, it just didn't hit. Like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And I agree that that's probably what it is, and that's what everyone seems to agree upon. But like, I don't know. Like I can't read this sentence for some reason. Maybe because like POE, there's elementals damage. Like elemental is possessive of damage, and I think of elementals from like Path of Exile, and those are like minions. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I don't know. It just like wasn't clicking for me whatsoever.
Yeah, that one I could understand the confusion. That one I think is interesting. And then the wording, and then it just makes sense for Convention of Elements to add the non-static wording on there because they just added static to Jordan. So Convention of Elements, it's going to buff your non-static elemental damage. So it's not going to buff. Just if you put a Stone of Jordan on, you're not going to get 400% for all of them all the time.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
But I think people think that that's going to happen, and I'm like,
I do think those. I think that's true as well. Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Right.
Like that's why they literally added the word non-static to Convention, is to say like that's not how it's going to work.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see Thursday.
We'll see Thursday indeed.
What if it does though? Oh my god!
Nutty. Wizards would be like the best class in the game ever.
Yeah, they'll have some panicking going on. Oops, bug.
Right. Some skill changes on the side for the Necro. Final service. Can we all just like slow clap for this? Like right now? Like, oh my god. Seriously. How long have we been asking for this?
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like come on.
There has been so many podcasts where I've been like, why? Is final service consume your pets? It's the only punishing cheat death in the game. Awesome. Thank you. That's all it needs to say on that line. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yep.
Yeah. Which is fantastic because, you guys know if your pets were killed, it's like, well, I just procced my cheat death. I'm alive, but now I'm F.
Right? It's like it's just delaying. It's like you're on death row.
Now
and like you're walking down to the chair, man. You're like, you already know.
Yep. Bone Prison, the simulacrums can now benefit from this passive skill, which is cool because that's another way of proccing Crispins outside the Land of the Dead and Bone Armor, which is great. I guess we'll have to see because it's only a 30% chance still. And now that there's two other guys firing it too, like maybe we'll see it go off like crazy. But like I was playing with it a little bit and I was like firing off a ton of spears and it barely goes off. So I guess hopefully that'll be a consistent way of proccing Crispins outside Land of the Dead. Because I think that if the new set has to use Land of the Dead, then people are going to kind of freak out.
Yeah, I'm with you. But again, this is feedback that we can give after the first couple of days of PTR to say, hey, listen, man, it really sucks having these Land of the Dead. Can we maybe turn this buff from 30 to higher, 70, 100, whatever? So,
Serration, which is your spears get more damage the further you are up to a limit. The dudes can benefit from now too, which is good. Obviously, setting up for the new set.
Yeah,
and then
we talked
the
about
one that people are freaking the F out for.
Yeah, this one has me nervous because listen, man, I've been playing Spirit Barrage. It's a fun set, and the reason Spirit Barrage, the specters from Phantasm Rune no longer benefit from pet bonuses, and this is huge because Mask of Jerem is a 200% pet bonus. You got your Enforcer gem that's pet bonus. That's huge damage drops right there.
Yeah,
and on top of that, it's just another multiplier. Right. It's I don't know exactly, like, Blizzard.
I think it's separate.
Diablo 3 math is like crazy, but adding additional multiplier usually makes it's more than just the percentage too. You know, it's like it's nuts. So it
could be, yeah. I'm sure Witch Doctors will be all over this.
And I hope they're so good, because this is a super fun meta and speed clear sets. Yeah. Pushing's okay on it. I'm not like pogging out at the push, but for metas, the trash clear, this is fun. This is a really fun play style. And I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. And hopefully, you know, Necro and DH maybe can jump in that role. But don't get rid of this one, man. Yeah. I hope that they can bounce this. I hope they can bounce this back. I'm afraid that this might make the same change as like when they nerfed the Barbarian Whirlwind belt. Hopefully it's early enough in the PTR that they're going to take it away and people are going to cry a whole lot. And then maybe it'll be okay. Maybe they'll be like, okay, we're going to, I don't know.
Sure.
If you make it pet damage, then Mask of Jerem still works.
Right.
Which is, I think, is what they're trying to get rid of.
But. Sure. Maybe. I agree. Like I do like Moon Danugu. I think everyone likes Moon Danugu. I do like that it's just easy to, like, anyone could throw it on and be successful. You don't even have to understand. What I like about Moon Danugu is that, like, to really play it at a high level, like, it's kind of big brain. Like, and I do like that when you get, like, it's just good on the surface. It's just flat good for, like, anyone to play. Like, you don't have to understand it that much, but then to play it at a really high level, like, you really have to, like, know your mechanics and stuff. So I do like it as a set. If I would have played this season, I probably would end up doing it at some point. But, you know, it's Witch Doctor, so who cares?
Yeah. I have to agree. I'm not a Witch Doctor fan, but this has probably been one of my favorite sets in the history of D3, which is hard. It's so hard for me to say that, because I, to the core, do not really like Witch Doctor. But I have to admit, man, my chat gives me so much crap for playing Witch Doctor this season. But it's a fun set, man. They killed it. And this is why, like, I wasn't hyped to play it last season on PTR, because I'm not a Witch Doctor player. I'm like, I'll let the Witch Doctors play it. And I would kind of wish I would have, because I would have probably jumped straight into it this season instead of, you know, waiting 3 weeks to try it out. So
yeah,
lots of stuff, man. That's the
huge.
PTR. That's I mean, that's the notes. Again,
and
man, I just encourage all you guys that are listening to play and give positive, not positive, constructive.
Yes, constructive.
Feedback.
That's a better word.
Like, fuck you, Blizzard, you're idiots is not good feedback. Okay?
But if you end it with a smiley face, it's fine, right?
It's like that post we read earlier. It's
right.
Like, oh my god, guys. Like, okay, next.
Right. Yeah, and there's already those posts like, "Oh, you finally made Witch Doctor good," and then F you, Blizzard, and we'll
like,
see that.
Just relax. Yeah. You know it's broken as hell. We've been saying how broken it is for weeks.
Sure.
You know.
But it's also round one, like you said, the round one of PTR, like all this stuff. Like we could see this next week, and there's just red lines everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I hope. You know.
Yeah, like strafe red line.
No, strafe is good. Just throw some Natalia's changes on there too, and we're set, and we're good to go. Good to go. So.
Yeah, what would you get? Like out of 10, what do you give this?
Oh, dude, I think this is probably the best one of the new sets. Honestly, I'm more excited for this one than I think I've been for any of the new sets. So of the last couple of PTRs,
yeah, call out, chat. What do you guys think out of 10?
I'm gonna say I'll give it. Oh man, it's hard to say without playing. It depends so much on how.
Just reading level. There's no judgment here. You're in a safe space. Okay.
No, there's no
tree of trust.
We're online. We're on YouTube and Reddit. It's gone.
Here comes a 10, Lord Shillchild.
No. You know, you're the shill. You're like, please. I'll say 7.5 before I play it, and then if I play it, it can go up or down.
Okay. I mean, I'm in a Necro, so it could just have X's through any other class, and I wouldn't even care. So I would give it like an 8. 8.5. I'm really excited. This is going to open up a lot of builds for the Necro. So, I can't wait to get my teeth into it.
It totally depends on, for me, like the Demon Hunter, like Strafe is one of my favorite abilities in the game. And so I'm excited for that. And if that set plays good and it's fun, then that goes way up, you know? I want to see primary skills going all over the screen when I strafe. I hope it's ridiculous. I hope it's like, oh my god, this is nutty. And the damage can be tweaked to make it in line, but I just want to see bolas everywhere, like everywhere. That's all I want to see, a bolas. I want to see hungering arrows.
You just want to spin. That's all you want to do.
I love to spin, man. You know, spin class. Haven't you ever been to spin class?
Yeah, of course. I don't know, man. I'm just not a big fan of like builds where you're just like holding down one button or you just like walk. Like,
no, there can still be mechanics that are based into it. You can still cycle between primaries. You're still gonna probably have to cast your primaries. That's what I'm saying, man. We hope we got this. You know,
it's your fault. If it's terrible, guys, if it's terrible, at ThaPChild on Twitter, tell him it's his fault.
You just want somebody to get blamed after the Barb nerf. You're not over that. You're not over that, are you? You're still mad?
Yeah. You know what? Demon Hunter forums, go after this guy. I'm tired of being the guy everyone's so going after.
They're gonna love me because that's gonna be fun.
Oh my gosh! Actually, the Barb forums might love you because they're like, "Yay, we get Barb in another class."
So. See, there you
go. Yeah, overall, great. I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll see some changes, I guess, but it's awesome. It's an awesome starter, like for sure.
Yeah, for the first iteration, this is great. This gives us some really good stuff, I wonder what the notes looked like for Monk that first time.
Oh my gosh.
That set became fun and it was a good thing. When they launched it, it was good. But man, that PTR, I was so scared. I'm like, oh my God.
I was freaking out. Because I couldn't survive and I had like 4 forms of mitigation on and like still couldn't live.
And like, so this seems like it's a much better but I mean that was the team's first go at the new sets. Now this is the third batch. They've got some experience. They're like, okay, we got this new set thing down. Let's do it.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
But tinfoil hats on.
Okay,
so there's this post. There's not much traction here around the rationale, but
I like this kind of post.
Last week they pushed a build of Diablo 4 to the CDN, and the version number was still exposed. And so I guess when Diablo 3 was released, it was also in the same spot where it had like a 0.9558, and then when it was pushed up for like, this is our release build, they just put a 1.0 point, that 9558 up. And so they've done the same thing here, I guess. And so there's this guy is like, oh, it's gonna come out soon. Here we go.
Listen, I would be on this bandwagon, maybe potentially, if I hadn't gone to BlizzCon and talked to the people I talked to. But I got to talk to some of the guys that are working on the D4 team, and they expressed to me that they were not anywhere close.
Yeah,
we're talking like not anywhere close. Like I don't even want to say because I don't want to I don't know if there was confidence being said in what I was told or not. I don't think there was, but in case there was, I don't want to say. But it was a long ways away, man. Like from what I was told.
I feel like they made that pretty clear at BlizzCon.
And this wasn't like them just trying to tell me like, yo, this we're a long ways away just because they knew. Like this was like we're just shooting the shit, and they're like, man, I was trying to do some things, and it's a long ways to go, so
right. Plus like all the feedback that's come back from BlizzCon and the posts that they've made, like
the system changes,
hopefully
more system changes,
hopefully a lot more system changes.
I mean, we're gonna get that blog post that's gonna be super juice, right?
Do you think that they'll go back to itemization? Do you think they'll go back to PvP? I don't know.
PvP would be okay if they give us info on PvP.
I still feel like itemization.
Toggle it on in this zone and kill people. Like we know that.
Yeah.
Like I want to know juice. Itemization is the most important.
Yep. It's still a big question mark, and that's I think the problem.
Give us that. I would be like PvP would be like, okay, I'm interested though. Like I'm definitely interested in that.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like couch co-op, you know.
I'm ready for the PvP poster, like BR is coming and we're separating the game types. And
dude, if you guys didn't hear us talk about a BR in Diablo 3,
be sick, dude.
We're not joking.
Yeah,
like we
no kappa.
Fluff and I literally fleshed out how a BR and explained why a BR would work in Diablo, and it would be good. I promise it would be so fucking fun.
True.
It'd be fun.
But yeah, I found this to be interesting. Guys, it's coming soon. Okay. According to this guy. Because of the version number.
Oh, wait. They're like just trolling. They're uploading Immortal pushes under the D4 name.
Right. They couldn't afford another box for a build, so they just put it on the Diablo 4 box.
Yeah, it's like this is Immortal.
Yeah, so. Smart. And then an inside note, we did get, now I was a little concerned before I saw this. So assuming that the PTR lasts 2 weeks, which we have no reason to believe it won't. So it'll start this Thursday, the 21st, and it'll go 2 weeks. So it'll last at least until June 4th.
Yeah.
And then if they were to, boom, pick up steam immediately, the season would end June 7th.
Yep. And the next one starts the 12th.
And then it would start on the 12th. So the earliest the Diablo 3 seasons could start would be the 12th.
Hopefully it would be the 19th, though. I would like that week of downtime for stuff.
Yeah, I do miss the week
you
of
haven't
downtime.
been playing, but you know, the downtime is always it's a nice, okay, let's get ready. We don't have to worry about any seasonal stuff. They have a week to fix bugs if there's anything crazy.
Yeah.
And then boom.
But the problem is, if they do June 19th, so
you're going out of town?
No.
Oh my God.
I mean, actually, I was planning on going out of town June 12th, but if they're doing the season, like, no, I'm not missing like a third in a row. Like, this is ridiculous.
Would you cancel a vacation?
Yes, for this one, because it's just like we're gonna go away for the weekend to like the lake or something. Like, it was not a big one. But like, if it's New Zealand, no, of course not. I'm not gonna cancel that. But yeah, so POE came out and said, basically exposed, like, okay, yes, they've, you know, this Corona thing has impacted them. They were planning the June 2nd to announce what the next league is, and they are expecting to work towards the launch date of June 19th or June 24th for console. But they did say in bold,
they should.
However, it's extremely important to note that more so than any expansion, it's very possible the launch is further delayed. Now, if they line up again, I swear to God, I'm going to be pissed.
Which one are you going to pick?
Of course, like, probably. I mean, there's no way that I don't play Diablo 3.
Probably. You can't follow a course up with probably.
Of course, probably.
Exposed. Yeah.
It's just, why? Like, I would, if I could have it anyway, and games should obviously plan their release schedules around what I want. But Diablo should come out the 12th or the 19th. And then POE, like, take your time, guys. Like, give yourself a break, a pat on the back. You guys have been crushing it.
That's not going to happen.
Take another couple weeks. Go into July. Because ultimately, what I want is at least 2 weeks on the Diablo season before the POE League starts. I hate this new schedule of them lining up all the time.
I am with you. I think that it does suck. And not only, this is like the season where you want to grind the whole season. So you honestly need POE to drop first, so you can play that for the launch for the.
But POE's got so much more life to a season than Diablo does. So like a couple weeks is not enough.
You're screwed either way. Yep. It doesn't matter, because even, let's just say Diablo comes out on the let's say it hits the 12th.
Yeah.
And if POE hits their schedule of the 19th.
Yeah. Then that's perfect for me, because I'm not going to just play the Diablo season for 1 week, because time after time, even this league, when POE is like, oh, we actually had a little bit more time, so we've had a lot of time to work out a lot of the bugs. This league was just as buggy, if not more buggy, than leagues past. So it's honestly in your best interest to just like take the first week off of POE, other than like if you're playing Trade League and like it kind of sucks to fall behind the market. But I play SSF, so whatever happens there doesn't bother me. The only thing that sucks is like that FOMO of like, oh, I'm going to be discovering like brand new builds with the new skills and stuff like that, versus like, oh, if I come in 2 weeks later, then people have already like discovered some stuff.
They've done it, right? Yeah, it'll, I don't have much going on this summer. I don't have any vacations planned set in stone. I mean, Corona kind of, I would have been planning something, but now it's kind of like, oh, we'll just wait. We'll see what happens.
Right. Whereas Diablo, to touch on what chat's like, yeah, if you don't start the day the season starts, you're done.
Yeah.
You're just instantly done. As someone that just like wants to play for the leaderboard, like there's no point in even trying if you miss like 3 days. So
yeah, I mean, how competitive is the leaderboard
now compared to what it was? Yeah.
No. I mean, the start of the season is the only time where it's actually competitive in a fair fashion, because then people have been botting.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the people that are good are usually just grinding Paragon the whole time. They're not going to push anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. It just sucks. I'm over like caring about it, I guess, though, at this point. I'm just like, yeah.
I mean, I still care. That's like one of the big reasons I still play this Diablo 3 game, because competition. Yeah. But yeah, it does. I wish, like, I always think, and I think we've talked about it before, but like the idea of like challenge leagues in Diablo 3, where they like do like a mini season within a season where it lasts like 1 week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
a weekend season would be the shit. Yeah. Or even a week, but a weekend, like, okay, we're going to start a new season, and then give it a different name. They could even call it leagues if they want to just, LOL at
challenge season. Yeah.
Yeah. Challenge season this weekend. And it starts Friday at 7 and then it ends Sunday at noon or
who's got
Monday
the highest GR per class? You win, that'd be dope.
Or just anything. Like it doesn't even have to be a winning like you have a leaderboard for it. You can have, so you could compete with your friends, you could compete with your clanmates, you could compete with leaderboards worldwide if you want, whatever. So that would be awesome.
Some cosmetics to go with it.
It'd be fun, man. Yeah, and then you could, it would be fun to even do those in between seasons. Like, okay, so like season 20 ends. Where are we on 20, 21? We're on 20 now, right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 20. So season 20 ends, and then we got a week for the patch. They get to iron some bugs out. The 2 weeks later, they could do a challenge season for a weekend, and they could have another week of just chill, and then start up season 20. Like you could buy a month of seasonal downtime in between, so you're not constantly just bang, bang, bang. Or I don't know.
I'd rather see him do there's at least 2 weeks minimum, I think, playtime in the Diablo season. I think 1 month. Anything after 1 month, that's just like open time to do whatever you want. Do a 1 week challenge season there, or 2 months out, whatever. Like anything to reinvigorate the population, like after that first 2 weeks where it just kind of like dies off. I think after that window, it's like you can just do it whenever you want. But that first 2 weeks, it would be no good. Or in between seasons, I don't know that makes.
Yeah, like the first 4 weeks is usually that's your that's it for your season. After that, like right now, for example, you could run one and people would be like, "Oh shit,
true,
challenge season, let's do it."
But PTR is coming up, so
well, yeah.
But yeah, that's it for POE. Yeah.
That's it for the news.
Yeah, really,
man. We can get into some Twitter questions.
Do it.
If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet at myself at Lord Fluffy. You can join our Discords, and we have an Ask New Meta section there. So yeah, tweet us your questions every week. We'll answer them. The first question we have comes from Canada. He says, "Hey, just started the league Friday." I think he means season, but that's okay. We'll forgive you. My favorite class in the past has been Wizard. Started with Veer set, but too painful downtime, so you farmed up the new Typhoon set. Enjoying it a lot. With only 500 Paragon, did it 84. I know you guys don't like it. What's the problem with it, other than maybe it's not top tier set for Wizards? Veers is fun, man. Veers is a good set.
No, he's talking about the other set.
The new set. Yeah. The Hydra set?
Yeah. He's saying, why don't you guys like it, basically?
Because it's not it's the new thing, but it's not the shiny thing.
Yeah, I don't like it I mean, I don't care if a new set's on top or not. honestly. I just want a new set to like have a play style that's not like just click, like just spawn hydras, and I
just didn't think it was as fun. I mean, so and that's opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And like I like Whirlwind. It's okay. Like, is it the most engaging set ever? No, but I'm glad it exists. It's okay. It's there.
Sure.
I hate every Witch Doctor set except Spirit Barrage. Like I literally Jade is puke. I don't like it at all. Some people love it.
I don't mind.
So each person has their own opinion on what kind of play style they like. And if the new Hydra set's your jam, then rock it, man.
Right.
I kind of feel like it should have been a little bit more powerful, considering it was a new toy.
Yeah.
It sucks to get a new toy, and then if you want to be competitive or efficient or even level gems to max efficiency or whatever you're doing in the game, you always want to like be the most powerful version of yourself you can be. And if playing the new set lowers your power level, why would you play it? You know, if you can go faster on Veers for T16s, why would you play Wizard or play the Hydra? If you can go higher on Greater Rifts with the Veers, why would you play Hydra?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Or any other set for that matter. So
yeah, for me, it's literally just like I just don't like the builds that are so simplistic in nature. Like I didn't like Tell Meteor. I know a lot of people like that.
I was a fan. I liked it.
Yeah. But to me, it's just too simple, and like I just get bored so fast. So that's basically why I don't like it.
And I think that's part of the reason why I have a lot of alts too, though, is because of some of the sets. Like you know, like could I grind a Whirlwind Barb 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week? Nope. You know, absolutely not. But could I play it for a couple hours and it's cool? Sure, man. It's just like Condemned Crusader was kind of Resident Sleeper too, but it was fun for a little while. So there's a lot of builds out there that are, they're fun to play.
Sure.
Crucifer says to settle the argument of remaster versus remake, and then he quoted Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Okay.
Remaster is to make a copy of a recording or film with the sound or image improved. Remake is to make a new or different version of something, such as a movie, song, etc.
Interesting.
So remake, according to Merriam-Webster, was the right verbiage.
Fuck you, Webster. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll forget by next week. I don't know, man. Just
remaster. So remaster is like the pound for pound same, but better graphics. And remake
Final Fantasy VII. We made new shit. Like I don't know what you want to call it. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yep.
Onion says, should they disable the season theme in Greater Rifts? I don't think anyone wants to have to time their debuff for big packs when pushing.
Yeah, I mean,
for the Rifts, that's interesting.
But then it'd be like, why are you playing a new season if the GRs are not the same, or if the GRs are the same as non-season?
I mean,
but I agree. Like, I just don't. This goes back to like we just don't like the new seasonal theme idea. Like we don't want kill streak season again.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with that. I don't want it to disable in the Greater Rifts. I think that we just need seasonal themes that let the player have control over it. That makes sense. Player needs to be able to control it somehow, some way. The kill streak, I think, is border. Like you could kind of control the kill streak, but that's not the kind of control I mean.
Right. So, and it just shouldn't be able to go into like a rift with like literally ZDPS and then like actually be able to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Let's see. What do we got here? Landenberg says, why has Blizzard put so much effort into Revive but doesn't do anything with the skill? Everyone guessed the new set would be around this skill. Is it too hard, or should Blizzard do a season of pets? In this season, every class will see a buff to pets, sets, skills like Bowman, Mirror Image, Revive, Ancients, etc.
Yeah, man.
Does every class have pets? I mean, Warriors got
IK.
The IK Ancients.
Yeah. Mortal Kings.
Crusaders got the Phalanx guys, right?
Yeah.
Monks got the Spirit dudes from.
Yep.
Yep.
Each has the pets. Of course. The wolf and stuff.
Yeah. Wizard. What does Wizard have?
Hydras.
Oh yeah. No. See how good that new set is?
Yeah. Wow, you toxic, B.
No. What else?
That's it, I think.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
That's all the classes.
Yep.
Then, Witch Doctor.
They could do season pets. I mean sure. But again, Rathma, the future is wide open for Rathma. That could totally be the revive set in some future patch. I'd say just keep hoping.
Mm-hmm. The last one, Hex says, if your username was the answer to a question, what question were you just asked? I think I get what he's asking.
Yeah.
So he'd be like,
what would your name be in response
to? For example, yeah, like it'd be like the face of Diablo.
Wow, Lord Fluffy. That's so nice, P.
No, I was answering for me.
Get out of here.
I just took that one off the table so you couldn't use it. That was too easy.
That was sweet. You're sweet.
You're welcome.
Fuck.
I guess it's like a Jeopardy question.
I mean, people have legitimately come to my Discord and left and said oh, I thought this was for furries. What? So maybe my question would be what's your furry name, Lord Fluffy? I don't know.
What the hell is a furry?
You know what a furry is?
I really don't.
Okay, so
hey, hold on. Is it safe for work?
Safe for work? No, no.
Okay.
It's safe for Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah, so a furry is if you got a Easter bunny, those full on suits, your cute little Easter bunny, your guy, it's like a mascot, right?
Yeah, okay.
Furries are people that go to these conventions for other furries, and they'll have orgies inside of their furry costumes.
No.
Yes.
No, really? That's a thing? Oh my god, dude. So they're just unzipping the waist and making friendship.
I think they just dry hump and stuff. I don't know. Really? I don't know. I've never been to one. Well, I'll have to do the research.
Okay. So is that your furry name then, Lord Fluffy?
No, I'm just sad that people come in Discord and oh, I thought this was for furries, and then they leave.
So they're legit. Okay, yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Okay. All right. Okay. That's it, man. That's all the questions.
Whoa! You didn't. What was it for the PTRchild?
Oh, the question?
Yeah.
Or what would my name be the answer to? Who's the nicest guy on Twitch?
SVR?
Yeah, probably SVR. I don't know if I still have it anymore. I may not be the nicest guy anymore.
Yeah, did you hear that Hydra joke you just made? God,
I know. Your toxicity is rubbing off on me.
Don't even put that on me.
Listen, do you know how much nicer I've made you? I hope everybody sees the remolding.
You've gotten toxic. I've stayed the same. Go back
to the first pods, guys, and just listen. Look at how he's changed, man. I don't know. That's such a good question. Let's see.
I always think of a kid that peed his pants or something. The PTRchild.
Oh man, damn! See what I'm talking about?
Yes.
We gotta work on this. It's so toxic, dude.
What? I'm just you've said if you could change your name and it wasn't such a pain in the ass to rebrand, you probably would.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I thought the name up when I was 12 years old. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. When you didn't realize back then when we picked our gamer tags and we picked our things, you're stuck with it.
Yeah. You really missed the window of you should have had something to start with the G, and then the podcast could have been called LFG.
Could have been. Yeah. Look, yeah, we're gonna get Carrion.
Yeah.
Looking for group the pugs.
I was thinking well, is there a Diablo stream with a G? I was Gabinator. No. It's what's not me.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't have one. I would say, who is the nicer of the new meta co-hosts?
Obviously, you.
Yeah, obviously me.
Obviously.
Oh, that's it, guys. If you want to submit questions, again, Discord's awesome. Twitter's awesome. Just hit us up. You can message me. You can reply to the tweets we put out on the week, or just drop them in the Discord. Check out the Patreon if you guys are interested in supporting the new meta. The links in all the YouTube videos. I don't know if we have one in chat right now, but you can definitely check it out. And you can get the pre-show audio for this, and all the other podcasts are on there from when we started it up. So go back and check it out, and you can hear Fluff talks trash on everybody in the pre-show. I'm just saying, you guys can hear it all.
Especially that new Diablo CM, that Pez Radar. Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's it. We'll catch you guys for episode 101. We got,
Yeah, we had something in mind for episode 100, but like
how did we talk about it? We actually did have a big thing for episode 100 that we were gonna do.
But then we got juice.
But when the patch notes came and stuff, if the patch notes wouldn't have been here, we would have done it. We're gonna save it though, because with patch notes, like there was it just, you couldn't do what we wanted to do and do patch notes.
Right.
And patch notes are more important. So but soonish, probably, maybe soonish, we're gonna have some things for you guys. Stick around.
Yeah. You want to tell them where to find you?
Catch you guys next time for episode 102. You want to find me
101.
Yeah, that's what I said. 102. I'm just skipping a week.
Nice.
If you want to find more of me, you can catch me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all the places. Just search for ThaPChild.
Yeah. I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week and talk about PTR feedback.
Yeah.
Peace out, dude.